song that was written in the studio with Brian Burton. A lot of these songs we had already, and then some of them were created sort of spontaneously in the studio with Brian. That was a new one, and so they sent that to me on a CD because I'm old school like that, and I like to go work in my car that has a CD player. And I listened to it, and I was pretty immediately stricken with my part in the song, which sometimes happens and sometimes doesn't. Sometimes you hear a piece of music that you fall in love with, but you have no idea as a vocalist what you're supposed to do with it. It just doesn't make sense. The timing is weird. The melodies are weird. With that song, I was like, I know what to do with this song. I think I know what my part is. And I took that and went to Hawaii and wrote lyrics for it, and just kind of speaks to the beauty of our dark sides, and how much creativity and growth and light actually comes out of those difficult struggles that we have on the inside of our heads that no one else can see. And I knew that song meant a ton to Brian. It was one of his favorite musical tracks, and I came and sang it for him after I got back from Hawaii, and he was feeling it, which made me feel great, because sometimes he's like, that's not happening, go back and try again. But with that one, it was working. And the more that song did gestate, the better it got, until it just became, that was Brian's push for single. So our producer, once we realized the Getaway wasn't going to happen, record companies' managers wanted Go Robot, and Brian was like, I love Go Robot, it's got to be Dark Necessities. And he literally went and fought for it with a sword in his hand until he got his way. That was a groove that Josh came up with, the verse groove, and they must have been playing that either before I got to band practice or maybe the day before, and I hadn't heard it, and they're like, let's play that groove. And I was like, I don't know it, but play it. And they got to the chorus, and really without missing a beat, I just sang all of the lyrics that are still there. So the very first time I heard that chorus, it was so in my range, both sonically and emotionally, that those were the words that came stumbling out of my mouth, and I liked it. I was like, that sounds good to me. That's a song. So I had to go backwards and write the verse to kind of match the chorus. And for the longest time, that was all of our favorite piece of music, specifically the chorus. We just liked the energy and the emotion and the rawness of the chorus. It didn't really matter what happened to the rest of the song, so long as we had that little moment in the chorus where everything was just lifting. We were cool. And so then I went, and I really never found exactly where I wanted to be in the verse. Josh suggested some ideas to me of what he thought, and I was like, I just can't do that because it's not me. Even though I liked his references, it just wasn't coming out of me. So I ended up just kind of writing my ode to lyrics about J Dilla, Iggy Pop, Funkadelic, and the greatness that is Detroit. It is one of the coolest cities to ever come out of this country, and musically, artistically, culturally, a very unique place, and a very unsung place in many ways, because it's so downtrodden, and it's got that kind of decrepit history to it. But from that obviously comes such beauty. And yeah, so I sang that verse to Brian, and I thought for sure he was gonna go, go write a new verse, bro. And he's like, no, I like that. I was like, you like the verse, not the chorus, you like the verse? And he's like, I like that verse, we're gonna keep that. So that is the history of Detroit. So that song used to be called The Philippines. That was its working title. And it was a Josh-driven piece of music. He had that guitar part, which is just super gorgeous and original sounding. And I fell in love with it quite early. I think I heard it, and I was asking him, what about that guitar part? Let's turn that into a song. And we worked on it, and it was just music, and I went away by myself and got in touch with my feelings, and kind of woke up in the middle of the night hurting over a relationship that just didn't pan out, and sat there next to my bed with some stupid little old boombox with batteries running out, and played that song over and over, and found my rhythm, my vocal rhythm and melody, and within that rhythm the words came. So sometimes if you get your cadence, the words will just suggest themselves. And being in the state of mind that I was, the images and everything just sort of flowed, and I was very happy to go home and show that to the boys and make Josh proud. They wrote that ages ago, maybe a year and a half ago, and it was one of the ones that Brian liked of our bunch, even though he hated the time signature. You know, Brian doesn't like to muck about with complicated, atypical time signatures, and that song is in something bizarre like 8/5, or just a time signature that you would never hear on the radio or in pop rock music ever. And it made it very, very difficult to write to. So I would drive around Echo Park and downtown cranking that song because I loved the energy and the vibe. It was psychedelic and it was free and it just was explosive and it gave you a great feeling. But trying to sing along with that time was just, I couldn't figure out where to start, where to stop, and how to compose a poem that would sing rhythmically within that. So I failed for probably 9 months, just lost, you know, and every now and then I would sing Brian ideas, like, I think this might work, and he would be like, you can't nod your head to that. There's no head nodding to that. You know, he wants to be able to go like this when he's hearing music, and that was like, and then you just couldn't get it. So he had Josh do an experiment where he played the chords on piano so I could hear them differently. And then within those chords, I was able to find a melody, albeit a simple one over the verse. Da 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 da. And again, within that melody, I found the words. So all of those 20 other ideas that I had tried prior to that was just in the waste bin and really weren't good. But once I heard the chords played on piano, I was able to figure it out. And I think it's the freest feeling song that we have, you know, where it just feels like you're running through a forest at night and you don't care where you're going. And that's a good psychedelic representation.